IAS Academy and also the website of AKS IAS Academy. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan and my credentials are I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations and internal security and the daily news analysis of the Hindu newspaper. About me, so we will get into the topic, that is how my session will be helpful for you. So definitely my session will help you to crack prelims and mains examinations, because throughout my session I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases. So the keywords and the key phrases are very important, and they are the key to your success, that is making sure that you score higher marks in the preliminary examination as well as mains examinations. So in the prelims, by identifying the keywords and the key phrases, you can make sure that you would be acquainted with the factual, analytical and conceptual question. And in regards to the mains examination, it is very crucial because of the answer writing that is in the mains examination. Once you get into the mode of imbibing the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing, which is for the mains, it is key so that your answers will be certainly precise and concise. And once your answers are precise and concise, so that you will definitely score higher marks in the mains examinations. So therefore my session or the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis will definitely make you into the mode of scoring higher marks both for prelims as well as mains examinations, both for 2020 as well as 2021. And the topic is the daily news analysis DNA of today's, that is 23rd September 2020. And as my tagline goes ahead, like the importance of the keywords and the key phrases. And the quote of the day is, self-belief and hard work will always earn you success. So what is important is two qualities that you need to have is the self-belief and hard work, so that you would earn success or achieve success. And before I get into the topic of the daily news analysis, I would say a very good morning to one and all, the one who are in the live and also in the live chat. Good morning to D. Suvarna, Ram Kumar. A warm welcome to all to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And today's news, which talks about the talks which have been taken up between India and China to de-escalate the tensions along the LAC between India and China. So it was certainly, the talks were certainly positive, but no clear headway in regards to the de-escalation. The discussion or the talks or the meeting was in regards to the corps level or corps commander level talks which have been taken up, which is the 6th round of corps commander talks on September 22nd, 2020. And both the countries have definitely come up with a positive outcome, but there is no definitely a clear situation or the consensus in regards to the de-escalation of the troops along the LAC. But both the countries had a joint statement, and both the countries in a joint statement have agreed that the important consensus, that means important of trying to have a solution between both the countries. And what is that both the countries in the joint statement they have mentioned is that both the countries would strengthen the communication on the ground along the LAC, and they will make sure that they avoid any kind of misunderstanding and misjudgments between both the countries along the LAC. And in the joint statement, they have accepted or agreed to stop sending more troops to the front line, that is the area which is very close to the Indian territory and also to the Chinese territory. And both of them have agreed to refrain from any, refrain in the sense, go ahead with acting unilaterally, changing the situation on the ground. So definitely there wouldn't be any kind of unilateral, but certainly it would fetch or it would create a situation or a ground for bilateral discussion before any unilateral decisions do take place between or from India side and Chinese side in regards to the ground situation. And in the joint statement, they have both have agreed to avoid taking any kind of actions so that those action will complicate the situation along the LAC. So these are the 5 important consensus. So both of them have come together and then they have understood or they have made it very clear that we need to fix the strengthening of the communication, avoid misunderstanding, stop sending more troops, refrain from unilateral changing, avoid taking any action, and all those were, these 5 were included in the joint statement of the 6th round of Corps commander level talks between India and China. And before I get into the next slide, I would say very good morning to Ravi, Sahed Anand, Anil, and then Sheshi Kumar. All of you, a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And if you look at the disengagement, there is a positive outcome. That means both have agreed to a consensus, but there is no, still the disengagement, that is the troops moving away along the LAC. Troops moving away along the LAC of these areas, that is Galwan Valley, Depsang Plains and Hot Spring Pyongyang Lake area. All these areas, the disengagements is yet to be agreed between both the countries because the talks are still going on. So that talks will ensure no further build-up will take place along the LAC. So what is the prime importance of the joint statement or having the consensus between both the countries is, the first and foremost is that there is no further build-up. That means no further troops will be stationed. No further. And later on, the troops which are stationed along the Indian side and the Chinese side will slowly disengage. Please do understand. First, no further build-up. And later on, disengagement will take place. That is the logic behind the entire joint statement. First, no further build-up. That means no further troops will be stationed to the existing troops. Could be Indian side or Chinese side. And then later on, slowly disengagement will take place. And these 2 sides have agreed to hold another round, that is the 7th round. So, yesterday it was 6th round of military commander level talks, and definitely they are wanting to have a 7th round of the corps commander level talks, so that they would be coming up with the practical measures of the situation what is prevailing along the LAC, so that the problems on the ground could be jointly resolved, so that the safeguarding of the peace and tranquility, that is maintaining peace and tranquility along the border areas, would be a reality as it was discussed between both the countries in regards to India-China border affairs from 1993, 1996, 2005, 2012, 2013. So all the previous agreements, they wanted to make sure that they safeguard it. And the talks were in line with the 5-point plan. And this is very crucial for your critical understanding, because when the 2 foreign ministers, that is Indian and China's foreign ministers, have met in Moscow on the sidelines of the SCO ministerial level talks, both the countries have agreed to come up with the 5-point consensus or 5-point plan. So based on this 5-point plan, wherein both the countries have agreed in Moscow, now the entire talks, that is the 6th round of military commander level talks, wherein they have come up with the joint statement. So the joint statement is the result of the joint statement between India and China. What I have explained here, I'll just show you once again. So these are the consensus of the joint statement. So the result of strengthening communication, avoiding misunderstanding, stop sending more troops or build up, and refrain from unilateral changing of the situation, avoid taking any action. All these are the outcome of the 5-point plan which have been agreed between both the countries' foreign ministers. So look at it, how the 5-point course of action is really putting forth a positive outcome to resolve the issue in regards to the disengagement of troops along the LAC between India and China. So why I am focusing here is, this is the keyword, that is the 5-point course of action plan is the keyword, because now slowly things are trying to fall in its place through a joint statement. So when a joint statement is released, so definitely both the countries or both the troops are wanting to have some kind of permanent solution. And for the first time, Joint Secretary of the Ministry of External Affairs have been attended the talks, or he was present at the talks of the 6th round of military commander level talks. So again, I would just make it very clear once again, just a recap. Galwan Valley here, Depsang Plains, this point, and then you have here this pass, Karakoram Pass, and this place here, Daulat Beg Oldie, and you have the hot springs, Pyongyang Lake. This is the Pyongyang Lake. So we were talking about this, that is the joint statement between India and China, and Kiran, Periki, Babu, Madhu, all of you, a warm welcome to you to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And there is a report which talks about that China is going ahead with a strategic objective. It has a strategic objective. As per one of the report, it says that China has a strategic objective in making sure that they double their air bases, air defense positions, and the helicopters near the Indian borders. And this is a strategic objective which is being followed or continued by the China in the last 3 years. And this we could see here. Now when we are talking about last 3 years, that means now 2020, and then prior to that 3 years is 2017. So when we look at here, 2020 Galwan Valley, here Doklam issue. When we are talking about Doklam, that is, or Doklam Plateau, so that is in Chumbi Valley. So look at it, they have selected strategically the valleys. So this is the crucial conceptual understanding how China is definitely coming up or going ahead with a strategic objective in doubling its air bases, air defense positions, and helicopters along the Indian borders, right from Arunachal Pradesh to Eastern Ladakh, and in the that is in the middle sector, that is the Nathula Pass in Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, and then Eastern Ladakh. So it is a strategic objective of China. And this is, we have come to know as per the report, according to the latest report from Geopolitical Intelligence Platform. So this is the keyword, key phrase. So what is the report? It is a geopolitical intelligence platform called as Stratfor. And this approach, what China is going ahead with a strategic objective or approach towards India is as similar of China's strategy in the South China Sea. Is as similar to the China strategy in the South China Sea, wherein it is going ahead with building up with a permanent defense facilities so that China can have a localized military superiority in the South China Sea, and it can have a potential cost of military opposition to the Beijing's maritime claims in the South China Sea because of the exclusive economic zone which it is wanting to have the control in the South China Sea because of the gas or the oil which is excessive, which is part of the economic exclusive zone in South China Sea. So here what is important is the report is the crucial information to you all as a civil servant aspirant that China is definitely having a strategic objective along the Indian borders. So I hope you are getting the point. So this is the 2017 Doklam issue. So this is Dokla standoff point, and this is Doklam plateau, and this is here the Chumbi Valley you have, and this is between tri-junction. When we say it is China, India and Bhutan, and this has taken up the standoff between India and China has taken up in the year 2017 for 72 days, and now we are experiencing it right from May 5th onwards till now, till today. So almost this is the one which is extending further the 72 days of the standoff between India and China, that is at the Doklam crisis. Now this is way ahead of the number of days of the Doklam crisis. And we have 7 bills which have been passed in the House, both in Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So we will focus on the 7 bills wherein that could be a crucial information and a critical one for you all in regards to UPSC preliminary as well as mains examinations. So we will focus at the 7 key bills which were passed in the Rajya Sabha in just a span of 3.5 hours. And the first bill is which was passed was the Indian Institute of Information Technology, that is IITs, Indian Institutes of Information Technology Laws Bill 2020. And what does this bill seeks, or what does this bill actually provide? It declares that 5 Indian Institute of Information Technologies, 5 IITs, would be set up under public-private partnership mode. So this is a keyword. So the 5 IITs would be set up in India under the mode of the public-private partnership mode in Surat, Bhopal, Bhagalpur, Agartala and Raichur as institutes of national importance. So it would be considered, the 5 Indian Institutes of Information Technologies will be considered as institute of national importance. So there could be a question in the prelims in regards to the institute of national importance. So which among the following statements are incorrect in regards to the institutions of national importance, which is part of the Indian Institutes of Information Technologies Laws Amendment Bill 2020. So please do focus on the bills for UPSC perspective point. And the second bill which has been passed by the Minister of State for Consumer Affairs is the Essential Commodities Bill 2020, which is part of the 3 agricultural reforms bills, And the third bill is the Banking Regulation Amendment Bill 2020. So this will definitely make sure that it will be focusing on the regulations of the banking sector. And the fourth bill is the Companies Amendment Bill, which has amended 13 sections to the existing Companies Amendment Bill and Act, and then they have added 1 chapter in the Companies Amendment Act. And the fifth one is the National Forensic Sciences University Bill 2020 has been cleared, and the Minister of State for Home has said that the Gujarat Forensic Sciences University will be upgraded to a national university. So as per the National Forensic Sciences University Bill 2020, which among the following university is being upgraded to a national university? which among the following? So, which is the university or science university? It is the Gujarat Forensic Science University, which will be upgraded to a national university as per the National Forensic Sciences University Bill 2020. And the sixth bill is the Rashtriya Raksha University Bill 2020. And this bill has also been passed. Why? Because through this bill, the Gandhinagar Police Training University will also be upgraded to a national university. So there are two universities which will be upgraded to a national university, that is Gujarat Forensic Sciences University and the Rashtriya Raksha University bill. As per, you will have the another university, that is Gandhinagar Police Training University. So one is in regards to the police and again in regards to the forensic sciences. So the seventh bill is the bill which has been actually been taken up in the Lok Sabha and been passed to the Rajya Sabha, is the taxation on and other laws relaxation and amendment of certain provisions bill 2020. So this bill is in regards to taxation and various other laws which would be pertaining to relaxation and amendment to the existing provisions of the taxation and various other laws. So the 7 bills are very crucial for preliminary examination as well as mains examination. And the other news which we will be looking at is the vaccine for the COVID-19 must have at least 50% efficiency. So definitely there are guidelines which have been drafted by the Central Drugs and Standard Control Organization. Central Drugs and Standard Control Organization has drafted the guidelines, which is the apex regulator for what? For the drug and vaccine trials. So which among the following, this is a keyword, which among the following is the apex regulatory body for drug and vaccine trials in India, brackets COVID-19 or COVID-19 vaccine. So which is the apex regulator? It is Central Drugs and Standards Control Organization. If the question for the prelims, if it is asking or if it is having in regards to the CCMB, Center for Cellular or Molecular Biology, or if we have the another institute which is in regards to the Serum Institute of India, it is not. Or if we are having any other that is in regards to the Indian Council of Medical Research, so it is not. So which is the one which is the apex regulatory body for drugs and vaccine trial is the Central Drugs and Standards Control Organization. So this is for preliminary perspective UPSC point of view, and that has come up with the guidelines which has been drafted, and it says at least 50% of protection should be taken into consideration in regards to the efficiency of the vaccine being put under trial, so that it will either prevent infection or diseases, but not necessarily both. So it is in regards to the infection and to the disease, and these guidelines are similar to the guidelines which have been issued by the World Health Organization, and a similar international regulatory organization is also the United States Food and Drug Administration. So as per the WHO and as per the another international regulatory organization, that is United States Food and Drug Administration, as per these two standards, even the Central Drugs and Standard Control Organization have drafted the guidelines for the drug and vaccine trials, for the efficiency of the drugs and vaccine trials. And WHO says that the vaccine should be safety, immunogenicity and efficiency. That is the 3 criteria in regards to the vaccine trials or the human trials. And the trials which have been, or the tests which have been taken up by the AstraZeneca and Oxford University, which were tested on the monkeys in regards to the COVID-19, is definitely, it is showing that some animals got the vaccine which was contracted infection, but they did not contract lung infection. So definitely there is a positive outcome of the test which have been conducted by the AstraZeneca Oxford University on animals, that is on monkeys, that some animals that got the vaccine contracted infection. So there is infection which is being experienced in some animals, even though the vaccine is administered to the monkeys, but no lung infection or any other severe manifestation of the disease is not recorded. Only there have been a minor infections. And the same way you have another vaccine which is been also taken up in India, which is in the phase 3 clinical trials, which is a Pune based. It is a Serum Institute of India. And there is another one company, that is Hyderabad based Bharat Biotech Limited, which is coming up with the COVID-19 candidate vaccine, that is called as Covaxin, and its reported test on animals showed no presence of the virus. And the another news is Xi Jinping, the president of China, defends China's ambitions, and he has also warned in his United Nations speech about the clash of civilization. So the two keywords are China's ambition and clash of civilization. Okay, before I get into this, Madhu has asked, sir, what is the difference between CDSCO and DCGA? Okay, so this is Director Control General, DCGA. It is a drugs control general authority it is. So here when we are talking about, it is in regards to the whether they will go ahead with the what kind of drugs will be taken up in DCGA. Fine. So when we are talking about Drugs and Standard Control Organization, it is the apex regulatory for the drug and vaccine trials. Here it is the, when we are talking about, this will go ahead with giving the permission. Once it is ready, the vaccine, this will go ahead with giving the permission. So that is the difference. And in regards to the President Xi Jinping, in his address to the United Nations, he has very robustly defended the Chinese ambition. Robust defense, or he has made sure that very particularly and strongly he has spoken about the China's ambition, which he has made it very clear in the speech of United Nations, at the United Nations, and he has warned against any kind of danger, even in the class of civilization, which might take up during the pandemic situation which has ripped the world. So definitely he is warning the country which is pointing fingers at China, that is US, which has definitely pointed fingers at China, that China should be accountable for the entire coronavirus outbreak in the world. And instead, Xi Jinping is making it very clear that because of the pandemic situation, there should not be any kind of danger to the class of civilization. And he makes it very clear that he doesn't want to go ahead with any kind of expanding the territory or Chinese ambition. And that he says that we need to be at this situation. We need to have a global unity rather than stigmatizing or politicization of who is responsible for the coronavirus outbreak. So let's all be united, and then we should overcome the crisis. But rather than trying to blame each other, or US trying to blame China. So that is the robust defense Xi Jinping he has given in his speech. He has made it very clear in his speech to the United Nations. General Assembly, and he has also urged the world leaders to make sure that they follow or embrace the concept of a big family. So look at it, the China, how it is trying to project itself as a world leader and an emerging nation in the world, that it wanted a global unity and it wanted a concept of big family to be evolved so that everyone is coming together and not pointing fingers at others, and then they would come together in a coordinated manner and to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. And if there is any kind of sense that they are not following or they are avoiding the concept of big family, then there would be falling, I mean the countries would be falling in the trap of clash of civilization. So he wanted the global unity and the concept of big family to be embraced by all the countries or the world leaders, and he has urged that there should be unity and a concept of big family, or else there would be in the trap of clash of civilization. And we know that US and China are definitely having a tense situation, as we have seen, because of the trade, because of the technology domination, that is 5G, and also as the US or the president of US time and again repeatedly pointing fingers at China that it is the country which is responsible for the origin of the coronavirus. And then there are various issues in regards to US and China. The other one is in regards to security and the disputed sea, that is in regards to the South China Sea. And we have seen even in Hong Kong and Taiwan, the way the China is trying to make sure that it is against the democracy of both Hong Kong and Taiwan, passing various security laws. And Xi Jinping has reassured the world leaders that China is not ready or it doesn't have any desire for any kind of hegemony, that is having a kind of domination or expansion or any sphere of influence. So look at it, China is very clearly addressing the United Nations and sending a message to the world leaders that they do not want or they do not have any desire for having dominance, hegemony or expansion. It could be in the South China Sea or else even with India also, and it is not for sphere of influence. So sphere of influence is another keyword for you all to focus for the prelims and as a keyword for mains also. And China has no intention to enter into any kind of Cold War. So this would be a new Cold War era. So as China is making it very clear that it doesn't want to enter into a new Cold War era with any country, and it says instead we are all working, China is definitely working for the international systems or the international organizations such as World Trade Organization or WHO, and it says that it is always partnering with various countries and also with various international organizations and regional organizations in regards to the diplomatic solutions. And China says that it is insisting on a dialogue to bridge any differences and negotiations to resolve any kind of disputes with any other country in the world. And the other news is TRI recommends body to monitor net neutrality. So definitely we have this keyword here, TRI, another keyword here, net neutrality. And these two keywords are very crucial for preliminary examination, and also the keywords are very important while you are going ahead with preparing short notes for the mains examination in regards to the information and technology, wherein you would have the importance of adding the TRI or Department of Telecommunication or the net neutrality. So TRI, Department of Telecommunication and net neutrality, and another keyword is MSB. The new keyword is MSB is the keyword, that is multi-stakeholder body. So now we will look into what the TRI is recommending to monitor net neutrality. It is recommending a body. Which body? A multi-stakeholder body. That is what MSB is. So TRI has recommended on September 23rd, 2020 for the creation of multi-stakeholder body, MSB. This is the new keyword which is the recommendation. So the recommendations are very, very crucial and critical information to you all, that is to all the civil servant aspirants, to focus on the recommendations. Now in this case it is in regards to the TRI recommendations. So they are wanting to create the multi-stakeholder body. Why to create multi-stakeholder body? So that the MSB will ensure that the internet access providers, the providers of internet will adhere, will follow to the provisions of net neutrality. So look at it. There are various keywords in it and very, very important statement. So MSB would be ensuring as a regulatory body or it as a stakeholder body, it will be ensuring that the internet service providers will follow to the provisions of net neutrality, and this is a very, very crucial keyword, net neutrality. We'll focus on that also. So here the MSB, once it is created and recommended, which is recommended for the creation of MSB, once it is created, it will include the telecom service providers. That is MSB will have, or that is part of MSB will be telecom service providers, internet service providers, content providers, researchers, academic and technical community, civil society organization, and the government. And they should be set up as a non-profit entity. So MSB will be a non-profit entity with telecom service providers, internet service providers, content providers, researchers, academic and technical community, civil society organizations, and the government. So there could be a question which could be framed by UPSC in prelims in regards to the MSB. That is, which among the statements are incorrect in regards to the MSB? And the role of MSB shall be providing, or it will provide advice and support. So it will provide advice and support to whom? For Department of Telecommunication. So MSB is very, very crucial body if created as per the recommendation of the TRI. So it will advise and support DOT in what? In monitoring and enforcement of net neutrality principles. So this, look at it, this is the keyword I am repeatedly saying. So here it says all these internet access providers will adhere to the net neutrality. Not only the internet access providers will adhere or follow the net neutrality, but the MSB will also make sure that it will advise and support the monitoring and enforcement of net neutrality principles. Another keyword which is crucial. And MSB will also be required to investigate. So it will also investigate any complaints which are in regards to the net neutrality principles have been violated. So the principles of net neutrality or net neutrality principles, whenever they are violated, and those complaints would be investigated by the multi-stakeholder body MSB. And TRI also is suggesting that the MSB will help DOT in maintenance of repository of reasonable traffic management practices. So you have here repository of reasonable traffic management practices, or you can take reasonable traffic management practices. So what is repository? That is central location. So TRI is wanting MSB to help DOT as a central location wherein it will maintain the entire data or the traffic. It will control the traffic. It will act as a traffic management, and it will have the entire traffic management practices, so that it will make sure that it keeps on helping devotee in making sure that there is less of traffic congestion. And the net neutrality principles, which will be adopted by the devotee, were technology neutral. So they will be technologically neutral, and they would be applied equally even to the 5G technology, which would be very soon in India. So we were talking much about net neutrality principles. So what is net neutrality? So it is a concept of all data which is in the internet. All the data should be provided equally. All the data should be provided equally. By whom? By corporations such as internet service providers and also the governments. Regardless of, that means, see, look at it. The concept of all that is that the data which is in the internet should be treated equally. Equally by whom? By the corporations, for as ISP, that is internet service providers, and also the governments, regardless of what content is in the data, who is the user, whoever is the user, what is the platform or the application or devices. So it should be regardless of the content of the data, who is using the data, on which platform is the data, what is the application or the device which is being used or which is using the data. So in this regards, the corporations or the government should treat everyone equally. So whenever there is equality is not being considered, so that means whenever there is a problem or a threat to the privacy or data privacy, so then net neutrality. So because there were questions in the past in the mains examination in regards to the net neutrality. Net neutrality is section 66 of net neutrality. So this is a crucial information for prelims as well as mains examination, because TRI has recommended the creation of a MSB, that is multi-stakeholder body, which will ensure that the internet access providers adhere to net neutrality. So on the whole, it is in regards to adhering or following the net neutrality principles, so which is very, very crucial for the prelims as well as mains from the information and technology point of view. So we will recapitulate now what we have gone ahead in the daily news analysis. So this is in regards to the bilateral talks between India and China along the LAC, and these are very, very important because we are focused on various bills which could be a crucial information for you in regards to the prelims as well as mains, because you can add them in as a short notes for your answer writing practice. And this is again in regards to the science and technology, which the guidelines, we were talking about the guidelines issued, which are as equivalent to WHO and US Food and Administration. And this is in regards to the international relations, wherein Xi Jinping or China is making it very clear about its ambition, and if the world is not part of a global unity or a family which is of combined or coordinated actions, so there would be a class of civilization. And TRI recommends a body that is monitoring to net neutrality, that is MSB, and this is again in regards to the economy we can also look at, and information and technology particularly. So I hope this session was very, very useful and informative to you all for the prelims as well as mains examinations. So I would say a big thank you to you all and a good luck to you all. And then please make sure that before you sign off, you like the video, share the video and subscribe the video of AKS IAS Academy. Do visit the website of AKS IAS Academy and also subscribe the Telegram link of AKS IAS Academy, that is Advanced Knowledge System. And then see you again tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. in regards to the daily news analysis. And do maintain consistency, do stick to your schedule, and then do take care of your physical health and mental health to attain success. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow with daily news and